The NASA representatives who talk about Artemis like to discuss the idea of a permanent human presence on the moon. However, a permanent presence on the moon will not be at all possible unless we can make use of the resources that the moon can provide. And the most important resource by far is water. Water provides breathable oxygen. Water provides rocket fuel. Water, of course, provides drinking water. And if we have to ship all of those things from Earth up to the lunar surface, the expense and infrastructure that will be necessary to accomplish all of that will make a permanent presence on the moon become impractical, if not completely impossible. But mining lunar ice is a lot more complicated than just finding it and melting it down, because lunar ice is almost certainly going to be contaminated by a wide variety of trace elements that are going to make it unusable. Indeed, the small sample of lunar ice that we were able to acquire during a recent mission to the moon about 10 years ago suggests that there is a wide variety of contaminants in this ice that will make it completely unusable unless we can find a way to filter these contaminants out quickly, efficiently, and with the minimum amount of energy expended. And that's what the AquaLunar Challenge was all about, a lengthy contest between quite a number of different research groups, companies, universities, and even family startups competed against one another to determine who had the best solution to solve this problem. This is a contest that was sponsored by both the UK Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency, and last night I got the opportunity to attend the first of these award ceremonies being carried out by the UK Space Agency. The Canadians will be giving out their own awards next year, but Canada was still heavily involved in this ceremony because the entire thing was held at the so-called Canada House in Trafalgar Square, Canadian embassy essentially, and Canadian governmental presence was quite extensive at this event. There was a lot of support from the UK's Canadian partners on this particular contest, and I'll tell you, a lot of exciting technologies were rolled out and generously supported. So let's meet all of these competitors, have a look at their technologies, and find out who won. Whose technology will Artemis astronauts probably use to extract this extremely valuable resource from the moon so that mankind can finally leave his earthly cradle?
Thank you, Soya. I'll explain this later. Okay, so I've cheated and I've done 4 slides because I couldn't cram it all in 1 slide. First of all, I'd really like to thank ChallengeWorks for the organization of this event. And the whole challenge has been one of the most, if not the most challenging and interesting research project we've ever worked on, I think. The non-financial support, all the discussions, it's fantastic. This is how the national funding agencies should do it, I think. Okay, AquaLunar Pure. Our solution is building on the forces of nature. 3 steps. First, we evaporate the lunar ice. Then we carry out the distillation step. We get water that's 99% pure. You think, that's sufficiently pure for drinking water. No, it's not. We need to carry out a 3rd step, supercritical water oxidation, which takes the water to a temperature of over 600 degrees Celsius and 200 bars of pressure. Under those conditions, we purify water to a level of 99.9998%. Now, that's drinking water. That's water that everybody can safely drink. Sorry. More of we've spun out a company for the treatment of water on Earth. Next slide, please. This technology is not readily available. We didn't get the budget to build it ourselves from the initial AquaLunar budget. But we have friends in Washington. They have equipment like this. We sent our PhD student Farid over. He's in the audience somewhere. There he is. He spent 3 months in Washington working on this technology, and he did the job. He purified lunar water to a 99.9998% purity. This is drinking water. This is the cell design in collaboration with Washington. Next slide, please. So we've established a spin-off company, PFAS-X, which is aiming to destroy PFAS in drinking water. You've all heard about PFAS, okay? So our technology can do that. The energy required, both on the moon and on Earth, is big. On the moon, we can do solar energy, but we need to build a big installation. Stoyan here has made a scale model of what it would look like. We use an RTG, a radioisotope thermoelectric generator. This is the size you need for the energy required on the moon. Okay, it's a suitcase. Now, the final slide, please. This is our team. 7 people from Team Mary, Ondo Kramer from Holland, and Igor from Washington. Thank you.
Next up is Paul Thompson from Frank.
Evening everyone. Right, so first of all, Team Frank, probably should start by introducing the team. So the team consists of me, Paul Thompson, Mike Thompson and Dan Thompson. You may notice there that we all share the same surname. It's not a coincidence. You know, a lot of teams say things like success is in our DNA. But for Frank, we say DNA is in our DNA. So, filtered regolith aquaneutralization kit, also known as Frank, it's based on existing terrestrial technology, adapted and modified to work effectively on the moon. So we use a combination of, ultrafiltration, flash distillation and full distillation to take lunar regolith and convert that into drinking water. So drinking water meets a load of different potable water standards, including the ones used on the International Space Station. We've designed Frank so it survives the lunar night using a novel hot water bottle approach, and we are capable of running in a 50% illuminated environment, so you can be 50% of the day, 50% of the night, which gives you a bit more flexibility on where you want to deploy. The process itself is resilient to changes in feedstock, so we're pretty happy with whatever we get in. And we have designed it for a 10-year lifetime, so 10 years with no maintenance, thanks to a self-cleaning process that we've developed. Frank weighs in under 85 kilos, which on the moon means it's easily astronaut portable. Well, there's loads of stuff to talk about, but I haven't got time, so I've got some data sheets if anyone wants them, come and find me or one of the team afterwards. In terms of testing, so we've done a couple of tests of key technologies on Frank. One of the ones we did was a simulated lunar gravity test using a weather balloon, a static weather balloon, and effectively dropping Frank from it. It worked, it went really well, but it's something we're looking to offer as a service going forward. So once again, if anyone wants to know a bit more about that, feel free to come and talk to me or one of the team. Going forward, we're looking to build a full-scale prototype of Frank and looking to potential for a parallel variant for terrestrial use. I think it might be useful for areas where the contaminants are unknown or tricky to remove. And yeah, so if anyone is interested in collaborating or your potential customers, suppliers, come and talk to me or one of the team. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
The challenge had started out with over 30 competitors, and this was eventually winnowed down to 10 semi-finalists, and with 2 runners-up and 1 grand prize winner, it was an extremely competitive thing. And if I took the time to show you the 3-minute pitches from each one of the 10 semi-finalists, this video would be almost an hour long. So unfortunately, I don't have enough time to bring you all of the pitches from all of the semi-finalists. I apologize, because all of them had some very interesting and innovative technologies. So let's go ahead and wrap up with the last of the finalists, and then we will move on to who actually came out on top.
My name is Lolan, and I'm here representing a very small 3-year-old technical consultancy from the southwest of England. When I came across the AquaLunar challenge, I thought that this was going to be a great way to develop technology for the moon, which could then be exploited for product development to solve solutions here on Earth. What we proposed was called SonoChem system. And this, from the title, you'll realize it consists of two things: a sonochemical degradation process and a system wrapped around that. The image on your left shows a stream of bubbles emanating from a probe. The sonochemical process produces millions of tiny microbubbles within liquid water. Each of these acts as a small, high temperature, high pressure microreactor which breaks down contamination. But on its own, it's really difficult to get to work on the moon because it requires liquid water. And liquid water is difficult to produce on the moon. So this is one piece of what is a larger puzzle of technologies which we had to put together. Shown on the right-hand side are many prototypes which we have spent the last 6 months developing and testing. And in the middle of the slide, you'll see a picture showing a test we conducted at European Space Agency's vacuum test facility. So that's the technical aspects of the challenge. For us, this was more than just solving a problem for the moon. It was an opportunity to leverage the challenge and grow the company. We have identified 2 technologies, which are spin-offs, for further development, and 2 derived technologies for terrestrial development. We have been selected to fly one of these space technologies on an in-orbit demonstrator mission, and one of the terrestrial technologies we've taken through the UK Space Agency's accelerator to investigate the business case. For the £30,000 grant, we've managed to turn that into over £200,000, and we'll use that money to further develop our product technology ideas. We have released job adverts for 2 additional people to join the company, and this means it's a really big growth opportunity for what was a small technology consultancy and what would become a much more diverse developer of technology solutions. Are you interested to hear more?
So, first of all, second place runner-up is AquaLunar Pure from Queen Mary University of London.
Folks, we have the last runner-up here with us tonight. Once again, huge accomplishments from so many different talented folks tonight. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourselves to the viewers?
So we are team AquaLunar Pure, based at Queen Mary University of London, but with collaborators in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, Waternet, and in the USA, University of Washington at Seattle.
So obviously, first of all, congratulations on your accomplishment tonight. What are the emotions feeling like right now?
I'm thrilled.
So
Wonderful.
You should be. Fantastic. Now, in terms of actual applications, in terms of where do we go from here? Do you see your technology being going straight into the space industry, or do you see terrestrial applications being the primary focus from here on out?
So let me answer this question. So that's a very good question, in fact. There's possibilities in space, but at the moment, I think our technology, supercritical water oxidation, lends itself very well for terrestrial water purification problems. So we are concerned with, for example, the occurrence of PFAS in water streams, in drinking water. So our technology that we've developed, SQUO, supercritical water oxidation, is particularly suited to destroying PFAS in terrestrial water resources. So Stoyan and I and our colleague Ian Collins have established a startup, a spin-off, called PFAS X. We adopted the website, we established the company at Company House. Within a week of registering the company at Company House, we had VC company on our doorstep asking us for information and whether they could invest in it.
Fantastic. So really, I've only got one more question for you folks at this point. I mean, obviously this has been a huge international collaboration, much more so I think than many of the other competitors that I've seen thus far. Tell me about this process of getting this kind of collaboration. What were the advantages? What were the challenges?
Sure. Well, Edo found the best kind of experts in the world, and Igor Novosel is one of the leading experts in supercritical water oxidation. In Washington, Seattle. So we teamed up with him. Farid spent 3 months over there. We actually visited, I visited the lab. We had like really in-depth talks, and then that's something that helped us actually achieve experimental results, which with the 30,000 it was impossible otherwise, but he has a 5 million, type of setup that he has built over years. And so with this collaboration, it was really nice to be able to leverage existing resources, and that's the thing that was beautiful about academic collaboration. You can leverage this kind of resources. We got the best kind of purification probably that was possible for drinking water of all the teams, because we got it down to 2 parts per million, 99.998% pure water.
Yeah, it's a fantastic accomplishment. It's been a pleasure getting to know you folks and meeting you months ago when we first did the initial interviews.
Thank you.
And once again, congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
So, our first place runner-up is Team Frank from Red Space.
Okay, so I'm Paul Thompson, this is Mike Thompson, and this is Dan Thompson. Together we're Team Frank.
So first of all, obviously a family team here. So tell me, I mean, how has that helped towards your dynamic? Has it detracted from your dynamic? I know working with my family definitely would, but I don't know how has that all worked together?
It's been a bit of both actually. We found it interesting. We're kind of on the same page in a lot of things, but we obviously know each other very well, so that made it much better. Obviously, the disagreements become very heated as well, so made it a little bit more challenging. But yeah, all in all, I think working as a team of people, who are related, I think worked really well for us.
So obviously a very big accomplishment for you folks tonight. How are you feeling about it right now?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. It's looking at the teams here tonight and seeing what everyone else has done. To be able to come in and come the runner-up. You've got teams from universities, you've got companies here, you've got individuals with absolutely brilliant ideas, and to place among them. I'm so happy with it. Really glad that we entered, and yeah, pleased with the result.
So last question, how do you anticipate this technology is going to be applied to the space industry in general? Do you see a future for it in space or more here on Earth? It's a terrestrial thing? What do you think?
I think our view, we really designed around going to space. So the technology, terrestrial, if we can do that, that'd be great, but really we're focused on astronauts on the moon. Water is going to be required. It's one of the key things that you need in space. And yeah, we're looking forward to scaling up our design, building the full prototype, and working forwards to getting it ready for flight, get it space qualified, and get it on the moon. So when the astronauts come up, they've got a nice glass of water waiting for them.
So Artemis, here we come, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you. And our grand prize winner. SonoChem system, Naicker Scientific.
Thank you. For those of you who have started and run small businesses, you know that playing a finite game and having an outright win is really rare. So I'm really pleased. We went all in on this. If if you want to know what that means, come chat to me afterwards. My family's here, kids. This is what hard work looks like when it pays off. My wife is here as well, who supported me. She's been taking all of her annual leave over the past few years as I've tried to build up this company from nothing. And my sister is here, who knows exactly what it's taken to get from where we've started fighting against entropy to get to this point in our lives. Thank you.
We got the grand prize winner from AquaLunar Challenge here with us this evening. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to the viewers?
My name is Naicker, and I started a small technical consultancy about 3 years ago, and we've entered and won the AquaLunar Challenge today.
So congratulations on this amazing accomplishment. For those of you who remember, interviewed you a while ago on
Yes.
this whole thing, and so obviously I'm sure there's lots of emotions running through right now. I know what it feels like to win a big award like this. Maybe not quite like this, but still, yeah, definitely a big moment for you. So where do we go from here? Where does your technology go from here? How does it evolve? And where do the applications get made?
Yes, so when I entered the challenge competition, I sought to solve this problem for the moon. But in the back of my mind, I thought that there would be potential spin-off technologies which could be realized in the much shorter term for space and for the terrestrial environment. So we've identified 4 of these technologies over the past 6 months, and I am currently working with 3 customers for 3 of those technologies to develop them further. I've also raised further funding beyond the money awarded to us by AquaLunar Challenge in the last phase to develop this technology to higher TRL levels.
That's fantastic. Do you see your technology getting applied to Artemis? Do you see making that jump and for Artemis astronauts to be using this in the near future then?
I think that this challenge allows the UK to now enter into the in-situ resource utilization sector, let's call it, for lunar colonization. And it allows the UK to be a player in that future lunar colony. So it definitely puts the UK in a better place for future manned missions to the moon.
Well, congratulations. I know you put a tremendous amount of effort into this. I can only imagine, once again, feeling great for you tonight.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, folks, one very important thing that we need to keep in mind is the fact that none of these things would happen without the organizations behind them. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to the viewers real quick?
Yeah, so my name's Ollie Usher. I'm a director at ChallengeWorks. So we're the organisation that organise the UK track of AquaLunar Challenge on behalf of UK Space Agency, working with all sorts of amazing partner organisations, both here and in the Canadian side of things.
So tell me, how did all this happen? How did it come about, and how do you feel about the results?
So it was really all about joining dots between different organisations. So we've been working with the Canadian government for many, many years, running technology competitions with them. And so we got really early warning that the Canadian Space Agency was going to be running a challenge prize, probably to do with lunar resources, and we knew the people involved. So we banked that information. We took it to UK Space Agency, talked to them about their emerging international bilateral fund, and thankfully the stars aligned, the timing all worked. They were able to commit to funding a whole UK track of the competition to run in parallel with Canada, and that was fantastic. So that's what set the ball rolling. Over the kind of year and a bit that followed after that, really it's all down to the hard work of the innovator teams that we saw this evening, who've done an absolutely fantastic job. Really, really exciting to see the whole range of technologies that have come through this competition. Really great.
Well, fantastic. Given the results that you've seen thus far, then, what do we have coming up next? I mean, what would you like to see? And can you tell us anything about what is coming?
So we don't know what is coming. Budgets are all very, very uncertain, both in the UK and Canada just now, but I hope I'm not betraying too many confidences in saying there's definitely interest on both sides. And we have a couple of ideas in our back pockets for things that we think would be really cool. We heard some on the stage tonight, which I won't repeat, but I think one idea that's kind of in my back pocket, which I'd be really, really excited to see a prize on, is really on kind of constructing large things in space. Big arrays of solar panels, space stations, things like that. They're all bespoke, and they're incredibly complicated, and they're built of vast numbers of different parts.
Right.
What if we could have like a kind of Lego for space, or like IKEA for space, a kind of small set of really standard parts that you could construct these massive, massive space structures out of? And I think unlocking the creativity of teams through this kind of challenge prize process to come up with this minimal toolkit of standardized parts that you could build things in space from, I think would be a really, really exciting way of pushing that forward, and to do that with a prize would be really great.
Sounds like we got some exciting things developing here then in the UK. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, for those of you who've been watching the channel for a while, you probably remember Dr. Christian. Thank you very much for joining us here again this evening, and congratulations for a wonderful event. Tell me how you're feeling about all of this right now with the AquaLunar Challenge.
It has been a really exciting evening. I mean, the moment that we finally get to unveil the winners of the AquaLunar Challenge, all the top 10 teams were amazing. So we had a really hard job selecting the top 3 during the judging panel we had a couple of weeks ago. But we're really happy with the mix that we got, and it has been so exciting to finally be able to present the awards.
So tell me, how do you foresee this challenge and the technologies being developed? How does this get applied to Artemis? Because we obviously have a Canadian astronaut heading to the moon next year, quite possibly British astronauts with Artemis in the future. How does AquaLunar integrate into all of that?
Yeah, this is very much an initial step. So this is getting those initial innovations that will take us towards being able to have a sustained human presence on the moon by having that all-important drinking water and water to be able to split for fuels. But you know, this challenge is fairly small on the scale of what needs to be able to be done to get to the moon.
Right.
So there's a lot more work to be done. All the teams can go ahead, keep going with their innovations. They'll probably head towards some terrestrial applications initially. They'll start working towards some in-orbit demonstrations, and then hopefully we'll be able to get one of them or more on the moon in the future.
Now, this is a bit outside the scope of what we're talking about tonight, but still big news. We have a European company about to launch the first orbital launch attempt from Norway here very soon. And given the evolving environment of spaceflight right now, how important is that to Europe?
It's important to have that capability in Europe. Obviously, with Ariane, we have the capability to launch, but not from European soil. So this can happen, and it's happening soon, and it really means that we're driving forth.
Dr. Christian, thank you so much. I appreciate your time this evening. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.